Trek Remedy was a fun bike. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this bike because it's, I don't know, there's a few things about it that I had some preconceived notions. There's a 2x system on it, which I'm kind of just like in this one-track mind of 1x. But tell me what you guys thought of the bike overall.
The Shremedy?
Shredmedy?
I think it's interesting, first of all, that they have Trek has totally changed its philosophy on women-specific bikes. So the last couple years, we've had the Lush, which was a 29er and a 27.5 versions, and that was specific geometry.
Shorter top tube.
Yeah. Women's specific. It was a different mold, different design altogether. And this year, they decided which many brands have, they're now kind of going along this line that women don't need different frames, just some different touch points, and we've seen this a lot from other brands, and Trek has now changed its philosophy to kind of say, like, you know, we're not building it around what we think a women's, you know, body
Physique,
type is, or physique.
Just,
and
this bike specifically, the only change you're going to see between this version of the Remedy and the men's/unisex version of the Remedy is the saddle and some hot pink
and the shock tune.
That's
an important note. I mean, they actually do tune the shock for it's a lighter tune, and
but you are going to rock 780 bars. Take it, you know, love it or hate it. You can cut them down. Pipe cutters are very, you know, easy to get. I personally really like the wide bars.
I did too on the Remedy.
Yeah,
I
felt good on the Remedy.
Yeah, I really liked how the Remedy felt. I felt like it was a pretty capable climber. And then on the descending, it just felt really so good. Yeah. I felt like I could choose some really ugly lines, and maybe choose is a bit of a strong word.
Funnel.
But I really felt like it could make up for some very bad choices.
Another thing to note is this bike comes with the Mino Link. It's a chip that you can flip to lower the bottom bracket, and you can slacken the head tube from 66.5 to 66. The bottom bracket goes from 343 to 336. And I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of anticipating it being a bit sluggish on the climb, even though it's a slight change. I didn't have, in fact, I made it up more things. And I don't know if I was just really excited to like get after it on the descent, but be prepared if you do, you know, try this bike out to test both angles, because I do think it's different, and I think it's noticeable, and I think that it is really nice to have that option.
There were some other nice touches I thought they used for the rotor 180 front and rear, which you don't see often, particularly on women's bikes, so I like that.
Aggressive braking, for sure.
I thought that was nice. You mentioned before it does come in 2x. It is the highest level they offer in Remedy. For, you know, I think it's $5,300. It's a nice price bike, good spec.
Right. This bike also has a new system called Knock Block. It's proprietary to Trek, and essentially it takes the curvature out of the down tube and makes it a straight down tube, which stiffens the down tube. Historically, if you had a straight down tube and you were turning too sharply, your fork or your cockpit controls would hit the top tube. This new system prevents that from happening. So it's kind of a fail-safe way to essentially protect your bike from bumps and bruises. Did you guys notice the system? Did you like it? Any thoughts around that?
I didn't notice it while I was riding, which I consider to be a good thing. I don't want to be thinking about what system is on my bike as I'm riding. But knowing that it did have this new system, I went ahead and tried to do the tightest circles I possibly could as we were playing around. And nothing was knocking.
So with Knock Block, you run the Bontrager bar and stem. That's what it's built around. So I think, you know, some people really want to personalize their cockpit. That's a big point of personalization, I would say, for a lot of riders, and you can do that. It requires an adapter. I don't think it costs very much, and you can personalize the cockpit. So that's probably important to me.
If you're going to personalize your cockpit, you might as well make it so you're not getting it scratched, right? Did you guys notice any other things that you would want changed, or that you like the size and the reach? Standover height, any issues with that stuff?
I just felt like this was a really good bike. I mean, really, I finished it and I was looking at that section of what would you change, and there's not anything else that I would change, except maybe the 2x, and at that point, I'm just nitpicking.
So this bike also has the active braking pivot, which is a really nice feature. A lot of times when you're braking, your suspension kind of locks out and just basically doesn't work as well. But the ABP allows the suspension to keep working while you're braking. And did you guys notice that at all? Did you have any experiences where you were like, maybe accidentally braking in a technical line?
I did happen to go down a bit of a rocky bit and didn't make the best line choice. And I found that I didn't crash, which I consider to be an excellent sign of a good braking.
It's one of those things that you probably wouldn't notice it right offhand, but it's a nice thing to have. Like, it's going to make the ride smoother for you. It's going to make it better.
You know, I feel like there's always going to be other bikes that are better climbers. And then you are going to sacrifice a little bit on the downhill. So what I found is that this was an incredibly capable climber. I got up things that I wasn't sure I was going to get up.
I remember you being surprised.
Yeah.
Like,
I was. I actually got up
that one sort of like steep, rocky pitch. Well,
the switchback.
maybe not one.
Maybe not one. There were multiple.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I felt like this bike climbed really well
Yeah.
up that. You know, just it. As well as it descended, I didn't feel like there was a lot of sacrifice on the climbing side.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the bike it had a really nice ride. Yeah.